AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. We are live from Don Juan Cigar Bar here on a Football Friday. Muse Pauly back in studio. Alondra on site. We're glad to have you hanging out with a ton to do. Terrio in 1 hour. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. We got our college football picks. No Saints game. We got to lay into Grandma Gail today for her comments. Oh, my God. I can't wait to talk about that. It's all coming up here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We have had so much conversation this week about LSU's quarterback situation. Michael Van Buren, Garrett Nussmeier, how should they handle the two quarterback system? Should Michael Van Buren redshirt? All of that. Well, a monkey wrench got thrown into that conversation Thursday night when Frank Wilson met with the media and gave this update on Garrett Nussmeier.
Nagging injury reoccurred itself with Garrett Nussmeier today, and so I think he's probable, but a little bit concerning. Something that we need to monitor and continue to watch with him as we head into the game.
So, Frank did later confirm that the nagging injury is the torso that was whatever was bothering Garrett back in fall camp that put him on the pitch count. To whatever degree that's lingered throughout the season. I guess we'll probably only know fully when Garrett Nussmeier goes to the combine and they have the full physical and they do the medical evaluation, and we'll see. But we've had this conversation all week long about Nuss, Van Buren, Nuss. How do they manage it? For what it's worth, Frank, this is 9 Muse, was asked like who would start the game on Saturday, and if they'd made that decision, is what Frank said.
Today's practice, Garrett was the starter. Has been all week. We'll continue to monitor his situation to see how he is. If we have to start Mike, if it got down to that, we feel that he's fully capable of doing so. But as of today, Garrett will be the starter going into the game, and we'll monitor his progress as we move forward.
So even after Garrett's re-injuring or setback of that torso, the plan is still to start him. So just to be abundantly clear where I stand on this, my feeling before Frank spoke on Thursday and talked about Garrett sort of re-injuring that torso, my feeling was that they should redshirt Michael Van Buren. He could play in one more game of the next 3. He should only play in 1. Let Garrett finish the season, preserve Van Buren's redshirt year. It makes no sense to me to burn a year of eligibility for a reserve role in a dual quarterback system on the final 3 games of a lost season. You're 5-4. Like, if you told me that you needed Michael Van Buren to help push through to a championship, absolutely. That's not the cards. You're 5-4. There's no sense. Like, allow that guy to still have his 5th year where he'd be able to make money in that 5th year. Presumably would be an older, more experienced, better player, either at LSU or somewhere else. It would benefit LSU and Michael Van Buren to preserve that redshirt year. My feeling on that changes if Nussmeier's not available. Because if you could take the next 3 games and give Michael Van Buren, let him start and play the full game the next 3 games, that's an amazing evaluation for him for the remainder of the season, great experience, and build toward next year where he could very well be your starting quarterback next year. So my feeling now, given this new information about Garrett, going into Saturday, I think Garrett Nussmeier should not play in this football game. And I'll give you two reasons. Number one, I don't know how a limit. I'm taking Frank at his word here that Garrett had a setback with the torso and he'd be compromised in some respect. He talked also about, you play that one if you would. It's number 7. This is how they make sure Garrett's good to go, just to get some context on like what they're going to have to do to make him comfortable to play.
Yeah, we got to monitor him. We have to nurture him. We have to care for him to allow him to be at his very best on Saturday. Our doctors, our trainers are all on top of that to do the things necessary to allow him to have some pain tolerance and give him the things necessary to have relief.
Okay, so understand my point here. Like, Frank, by the way, is very Milesian. The more I hear him, he will talk in circles like Les will. He will say a lot without saying much. And I get it. Some coaches are like that. But the point being, you're telling me you're going to have a limited Garrett Nussmeier behind a leaky offensive line with no running game and a bad scheme. Like, I don't love that. I don't love that at all. So give Garrett the opportunity to rest this week and hopefully be healthier for the next week, senior day, and also give Michael Van Buren this game where he gets to play the whole game. Play the whole game without having to look over your shoulder. If I go 3 and out, are they going to pull me? If I throw a pick, am I going back to the bench? Like, that's what sucks about a 2-quarterback system. It's impossible to get into a rhythm at all because you're constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering, am I going in? Is the other guy going in? You don't get in any sort of sense of a rhythm. So I like the idea of rest Garrett this week. Go watch Michael Van Buren. If Van Buren goes out there and balls out and this offense and goes and scores 45, well, guess what? Then Van Buren's your guy for the final 2 games. If you have the same struggles, then I look and I go, all right, you give Garrett a week off. You get Garrett back for senior day next week in the game against Oklahoma. You preserve Van Buren's red shirt. Hurley becomes your backup for the final 2 games of the regular season. And you worry about 2026, after that. So I just can't look at a limited Garrett Nussmeier and think playing him behind this offensive line with no running game and a bad scheme, one of the worst offenses in college football, thinking that's a good idea. I think this is a game where you sit Nuss, you play Van Buren the entirety of the game, and you assess for the final 2 games based on what you see Saturday in Tiger Stadium against Arkansas. I don't know what they're going to do. Guessing they'll go run him out there pregame and let him warm up and see how he looks and feels. And I'm sure Garrett's going to want to play. He's got 3 games left in his college career, well, in a bowl game, but provided they win one of the next 3. But I'm sure Garrett's going to want to play, and I respect the hell out of that. I don't know if that's best for him or for LSU on Saturday. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you with us. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Come here by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Grab you an ice-cold Bud Light, premium cigar, or your favorite watering hole if you're going to tailgate tomorrow for LSU and Arkansas. Before the game or after the game, make sure you have plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light in the officially licensed LSU cans and aluminum bottles with the logo on it, the white cans, a hat tip to LSU's tradition of wearing white at home. We'll look forward to being out there on Saturday to see the Tigers and the Hogs drink plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Also, remember, our friends at Mockler Beverage, their energy drink, Form Energy, they're going to be with Whit Weeks Sunday at the Rouse's on Airline and Long Farm in Baton Rouge from 2 to 3 p.m. So you come on by, get an autograph, a picture, get some Form Energy, and meet Whit Weeks Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. at the Rouse's on Airline and Long Farm in Baton Rouge, courtesy of our friends at Mockler Beverage. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers. Speaking of, real quick, Whit Weeks, there was an update from Frank on Thursday night after practice. Here was the update on Whit Weeks.
He has participated in team events. He participated today as well. He has been on a pitch count, limited. We'll continue to monitor him throughout the duration of the week. It'll probably be a game day decision for Whit Weeks.
For whatever it's worth, so that was Thursday night, and Pete Nakos from On3 is reporting now that it's unlikely that Whit Weeks plays in the game against Arkansas on Saturday. I mean, we've talked about this plenty now at this point. I think everyone realizes, and not getting anyone to confirm the exact injury to me. We haven't said exactly what I've been told, and I'm okay with that. But I think everyone can understand this is not an ankle sprain. If this was an ankle sprain, look, Tyree Adams had a high ankle sprain. He had the tightrope procedure. If this were an ankle sprain, there would have been other things they would have done for Whit Weeks. This is certainly far more than an ankle sprain. And again, we'll find out what the exact injury is whenever they're willing to disclose exactly what it is medically, if they're willing to disclose it. But very clearly now you're going on 5 weeks from the South Carolina game where the real re-aggravation happened to Saturday against Arkansas, and still not seeing Whit Weeks. It tells you this was certainly far more than an ankle sprain. All right, it's After Further Review. Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, as we have been Fridays here during the football season for LSU games. We're excited to be here. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. Every Friday, we visit with Phil Steele. We preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. We'll do that when we come back here from Don Juan Cigar Bar on a Football Friday edition of AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. And, y'all, what a day it will be. Tomorrow is going to be gorgeous. Highs in the upper 70s. I mean, just an absolutely picturesque weekend in and around Baton Rouge. So a great opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. Seaganeer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. And Miss Teresa was telling me they're going straight from pumpkins into poinsettias. They're going straight from pumpkins. Christmas trees are starting to arrive next week at Clegg's. So if you're ready to start decorating for Christmas, they've got Christmas trees arriving next week. The poinsettia open house is coming up in a couple of weeks, which we're excited about. Just rows and rows and rows and rows of beautiful poinsettias at the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You get all the info. Make sure you follow them on their Facebook page. It's Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Glad to have you back on a Football Friday from Don Juan Cigar Bar. Every Friday, we preview the biggest games with Phil Steele. Make sure you get to philsteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Phil, how are you?
You know, I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
All things considered, really well, man. Sun's shining, beautiful day. Got air in my lungs, feet on the ground. Football around here sucks, but we'll make it. We'll make it through. It's been worse. We'll get to LSU and Arkansas, but let's actually start, Phil, with one tonight. Clemson and Louisville. You're going to see a theme, obviously, is who wants to win the ACC and who wants to win the Big 12. We'll talk about a lot of those games tonight. Clemson, Louisville. Louisville's 4-2. Clemson a disappointing 3-4 season, but they could really wreck Louisville's chances here. The Cards are a 1.5-point home favorite. Hold serve at home there in Louisville?
No, I like Clemson tonight. When you look at Louisville this year, they've had one good game in my mind. That was Miami of Florida. The other games, they trailed Pitt and Virginia Tech by double digits. In both games, ended up winning. Even James Madison outplayed them at home. So I haven't been blown away with Louisville in any game except for the Miami of Florida game where they played their best. Clemson, on the other hand, can still mildly salvage a season by finishing out strong. They did that a couple of years ago. Remember, they won their last 4 or 5 games down the stretch and made things better in the offseason. And I think they have that opportunity here. I think talent-wise, Clemson's right there and maybe even better than Louisville. So I'm going to call for Clemson to go on the road and get the upset here.
A couple of lopsided lines here with Oregon, a big favorite tonight against Minnesota, and Indiana, big favorite at home against Wisconsin. Also in the morning window on Saturday, South Carolina goes to Texas A&M. The Aggies are a 17.5-point favorite. I just wonder, watching South Carolina go put a scare into Alabama and Tuscaloosa a few weeks ago, if maybe that's not an interesting matchup. Any chance the Gamecocks keep that one close, Phil?
Yeah, I think there is. You look at South Carolina, as you mentioned, against Alabama. Remember the LSU game. LSU needed a late score to get the cover, and that was only a win by 10. And Texas A&M, remember how they started out the year? They'd win games, but they didn't cover. They haven't done a lot of covering under Elko except recently. I think A&M is one of the best teams and most complete teams in the country. But I think at this point, they don't need style points. They just need to win football games, maybe play a little tight, knowing they just need to win, keep that undefeated record. I probably would lean with South Carolina plus the points there.
Phil Steele is with us. Game day is going to be at Pitt. First time in 20 years, something like that. Number 9, Notre Dame, 7-2 at 7-2 Pitt. Notre Dame is another one, Phil. They went out. They're probably in the playoff, right, at 10-2. They're a big 12.5-point favorite here. Any magic there for the Panthers?
I think when you look at Pitt's schedule the remainder of the year, this game's meaningless to them. The ones that matter are Georgia Tech and Miami of Florida. And if they beat Georgia Tech, beat Miami of Florida, get to the ACC title game and win it, then all of a sudden Pitt's in the playoff. What the Notre Dame game is irrelevant to their playoff chances, win or lose. Doesn't matter. All they have to do is win the ACC. Meanwhile, Notre Dame 18-5 against the spread versus the ACC. And so I think that this is a game where Pitt sort of takes it easy and worries about next week and Miami of Florida more. And those are 2 winnable games for them. I like Notre Dame minus the points here. And the crowd edge may just be in Notre Dame's favor. They're going to have a lot of fans on hand.
What did Narduzzi say? He could lose that game by 100? I think that's what you want to hear from your coach going into that game. Phil likes Notre Dame laying the points. He's on Twitter at PhilSteele042. From the ACC to the other conference, nobody seems to want to win. What about in the Big 12? Cincinnati, they're 5-1 in the league, 7-2. They welcome in Arizona. The Bearcats are 5.5-point home favorite. Got to have it, certainly, there in Cincinnati. Do they get it against Zona?
Yeah, and I liked Arizona against Kansas last week. They disappointed me. I wasn't blown away with them, and they have struggled on the road as well. And now, last time we saw Cincinnati, they were in a really bad situation. They were playing their 6th straight game. They were playing 10:15 at night in the altitude against Utah. And in the game, while they lost by 31 points, they actually were only outgained by 53 yards. They put up 427 yards offense. I think now Cincinnati, off a bye at home, playing the game at 9 o'clock in the morning Arizona time, is now in a great situation and gets back to being that team that was unbeaten in the Big 12 before that loss at Utah. So I think we get a lot of line value here on Cincinnati at home. I like the Bearcats. Minus the points at home to win this one by more than the spread.
Okay. A couple more here, Phil. We'll break and catch up on the afternoon and evening games. The game that I'm going to be most fascinated in is Oklahoma at Alabama. Oklahoma still has a playoff shot, but they got to win, and they got to go on the road to Tuscaloosa, where Bama hasn't lost since their opener. Bama's a 5.5-point home favorite. I'm curious your thoughts on this, mostly what we see from John Mateer, Phil.
I think we're going to see John Mateer get better and better each week of the season as he gets further away from that surgery. And, I thought he showed some stuff against Tennessee in the last game, and now he's had a bye. I think we're going to see a really good John Mateer here. And the one thing I like about Bama, plus the points in this game, is the fact that at the line of scrimmage, I trust Oklahoma more. I like Oklahoma's offensive line better than Bama's. Bama's really been struggling to even run the football. Oklahoma's got one of the best defensive lines in the country. They could get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. Both of those things help out. And then, like I said, with a healthier Mateer, I think that they're an upset possibility here. Tough to go against Bama at home playing with revenge, but I'll take Oklahoma plus the points here in a possible upset.
I would love to see the Sooners get that one, man. NC State at Miami. Phil, another one there in the ACC. I don't imagine the crowd is going to be too raucous there at Hard Rock Stadium, but the Canes are 2 touchdowns, 14 and a hook right now against NC State. I guess maybe Phil, still an outside shot for Miami. Thoughts on the Canes at home against NC State?
Yeah, I think they do have an outside shot. Remember, they opened up the season with 4 ranked wins in the first 5 games, and their only losses this year are by 3 points against Louisville and then in overtime against SMU. So I think if they get style points and start to impress again, like they did at the start of the year, then I think they have a chance. And that's the reason I like Miami minus the points here. I think they are the better team to begin with. You look at their defense with Bain and company, they're holding opponents to 125 yards below their season average. Meanwhile, NC State, if you look at them over the last 5 games against FBS opponents, they're giving up over 500 yards per game. So a massive edge defensively. I like Carson Beck in that offense. And one thing I like about Cristobal, he's been putting some points on the board late in games to get some covers, like that Stanford game a couple weeks ago, and even the Syracuse game. They scored late to get ahead of the spread, and then unfortunately they gave up the backdoor cover late. I actually like Miami to earn some style points with a big win over NC State here.
He is Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Make sure you go to PhilSteele.com and take that Phil Steele Plus tour. We'll tell you more about it in just a second. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll preview the afternoon and the evening. We are brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Drink Evamore. It's natural artesian water, and it is a Louisiana product. So stop drinking that water from Texas or from the other country just because it has a fancy name. Evamore is a natural product. It's a healthier alternative. It's a better form of hydration, and it's got national distribution. Find a store near you at evamore.com, EVAMOR, evamore.com, evamore.com. Drink Evamore. All right, we'll continue with Phil Steele to preview the rest of the football weekend. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
It is not too late to register to win one of 600 bicycles this Christmas season. Our friends over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, one of the great philanthropic charitable works they do every year around the holidays. Gordon gives away 600 bicycles to less fortunate children to brighten up their Christmas. If you want to enter to win one of the 600 bicycles, it's easy. Go to any of Gordon's social media. You can see it all, how you can enter right there. It's at GetGordon, GetGordon, at GetGordon on any of the social media platforms. And you can see how you can register to win one of those 600 bikes. Gordon just bringing smiles to the less fortunate this Christmas season like he's done for so many years, giving back to the communities he serves. And as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Continuing with Phil Steele. Make sure you get him at Phil Steele 042, Football Friday live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil, let's jump into the Big Ten. Iowa. Oh, Phil, they were so close last week. Iowa goes out west to Southern Cal. We always talk about, jumping multiple time zones. SC is a 6.5-point home favorite. Maybe a little letdown spot for Iowa after the big effort last week.
Well, the good thing is they've got a coach in Coach Ferentz who's the guy that won't let his team have that letdown spot. And I think Iowa matches up well here in the fact that they don't allow the big play. And that's usually what USC's offense relies on, is the big play. Also, Iowa has the special teams edge and the defensive edge. Okay. Phil Parker's one of the best defense coordinators in the country, holding opponents to 119 yards per game below their average. So I do like the matchups in this game for Iowa. USC's got the better skilled players, but the line of scrimmage could be in Iowa's favor. Now, here's the thing about USC, Matt. If they win their last 3 games, they're in the playoffs. So this is a legitimate playoff contender as well. I don't care where they are in the rankings right now. If they beat Iowa, go into Oregon and win and beat UCLA, they will be in the playoff. So I think it's going to be a great game, a fun one to watch. I'd probably lean a little bit with Iowa plus the points, but I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
Phil Steele is with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. What about as we jump back into the ACC with Virginia and Duke? Virginia, of course, the disappointing loss last week, and now they got to go on the road there to take on Duke, where the Blue Devils are a 5.5-point home favorite.
Yeah, and part of the reason I like Connecticut over Duke last week and used it as one of my top plays was the fact that it was completely meaningless to Duke. Didn't matter what they did against Connecticut. They still, if they win their final 3 games, they are in the ACC title game. They control their own destiny, and they only have 1 ACC loss. So last week's game meant nothing. Yeah, it was their 4th loss of the season, but win their final 3 games, and they're in the ACC title game. And Virginia has just not impressed me as of late. You go back to not only their Wake Forest loss last week, but Cal the week before, they needed an interception return. In the previous 3 weeks, they struggled to even get to 300 yards offense. So I think right now Duke's got the better defense. They're at home, and they know they have something to play for. And I like their offense better with their Mensa. Plus Chandler Morris, Virginia's quarterback, got banged up last week. We'll see how healthy he is here. So I got to side with Duke minus the points there.
Phil, I want to jump into the SEC and ask you about Florida and Ole Miss and a little bit of this line movement. If I'm not mistaken, I saw this at 14.5 earlier in the week. It's down to 11.5 right now.
Really?
With the Rebs. That's what I'm looking at right now, which something makes me go, what gives here? Because everything looks at a Florida team that is quit and an Ole Miss team that is staring at the playoffs. And by the way, Florida's trying to steal the Ole Miss coach. So, man, help me make sense of this one, because this feels like a one-sided, lopsided Ole Miss wrong.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Matt, on the tour the Phil Steele Plus tour, I put out Florida plus 15.5. So the number has completely dropped on that game. The reason I like Florida plus 15.5 is the following reason. Yes, last week they were a no-show against Kentucky. We saw that. But the week before that, they played Georgia tough. A couple weeks ago, they beat Texas. Against LSU, they had a 23-10 first down as you were done in by turnovers. So they have the talent to play in a game like this. And with Ole Miss, they do not need style points to make the playoff. They may be playing with a little bit of pressure here, knowing that they messed up last year with the loss. They don't want to lose. I don't think you're going to see them throwing late in the game to try to add to the score. You'll see them protecting it because they know if they win their final two games, they absolutely 100% are in the playoff. And look at Ole Miss's wins against FBS opponents this year. Yes, they beat South Carolina by 16, but all the rest of their wins, 8 over Oklahoma. LSU, they beat by 5. Washington State by 3. They beat, I'm talking group Power 5 teams, I should say. Arkansas, they beat by 4. Kentucky by 7. They only have one win by more than double digits, and they might be playing a little tight. I liked Florida plus the 15.5. Now that the spread's at 11.5, I'd probably lean with Florida, but I wish I was still getting the 15.5.
I want to say in the SEC, you told us weeks and weeks and weeks ago Georgia is going to win the remainder of their games in the regular season, be a playoff team, be in the SEC championship. You haven't missed. They're 8-1 right now, and here comes Texas at 7-2, playing much better and needing to win out to make the college football playoff. That would also put them in the SEC championship if they were able to win this game, if they win out, of course. So Texas at Georgia. Georgia's 6.5-point home favorite. Phil, you've taught me well over the years. Georgia, not a great home favorite, really good road favorite. What do we think here about the Bulldogs?
Yeah, not a great home favorite in general. However, one area they are a really good home favorite, and that is at home against top 10 teams as a home favorite. And in that case, they're 5-1 against the spread. So this is their situation where as a big home favorite, they don't lay it on. In fact, they play Charlotte next week. I can tell you I'm going to pick Charlotte because Georgia sucks as a huge favorite. But this is not the week to go against Georgia. As I mentioned, 5-1 against top 10. And really, let's put the two teams side by side. Offensive line, I think big edge to Georgia. Texas's offensive line has struggled losing those 4 starters. Georgia's averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Quarterback, I'll take Gunnar Stockton over Arch Manning. Receivers, I like Zachariah Branch. And running game clearly is in Georgia's favor with Frazier and Bowens. And how about defensively? Do you know that Texas started out the year great on defense, but in conference play, they're actually allowing teams 15 yards per game above their average. Georgia's holding conference foes to 71 yards below their average. And here's the final kicker. Georgia in conference play is plus 89 yards per game. Texas, minus 60. I think the two names deserve the fact that Georgia should be a 3 to 6 point favorite, but Georgia's the better team at home. I'm taking Georgia minus the points here.
Love it. TCU and BYU, Phil. BYU fell from the ranks of the unbeatens. This is one that looks tricky, man. They're a 3.5-point home favorite here against the Horned Frogs. Horned Frogs go on the road, maybe a little upset special?
Not this week, Matt. When I look at TCU, they sort of remind me, like I mentioned with LSU, where's their most impressive win of the season? And they just don't have one. Yeah. You go back to the 14-point win they had over Colorado. That thing's 21-21, and they're punting with 5 minutes to go. Luckily, the ball goes off and up, man. They get a touchdown, then score another touchdown in the final seconds. 14-point win, right? They're against North Carolina. North Carolina, that first game everybody remembers was their most impressive game. But since then, haven't done that. And BYU has impressed me at times. Now they're at home in the altitude, off a loss. I think BYU's the better team, and the spread's cheap at 3.5. I like BYU in this one.
He is Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Get to PhilSteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour, which Phil will tell you about in just a quick second. But Phil, out of obligation, LSU and Arkansas are going to play for the Golden Boot because it's on the schedule, and the schedule makers say they have to. But there is just no juice and nothing on the line for this game. And, man, it is a terrifying thought for LSU right now with a running quarterback coming in, a team not playing for anything, probably just a dead Death Valley. So make sense of this one. That line I'm looking at right now is at 4.5 in favor of LSU. So how do you see it?
I'm seeing 5.5, but yeah, even at 4.5, I think anything over 3, I'm taking Arkansas on this one. You go back to the last 5 meetings, 4 of them have been decided by 3 points, and it just seems Arkansas is always more up for this game than LSU is. They're 12-5-1 against the spread in the series. And then when you look at Arkansas, they are the offensive team. I mean, they put up 527 yards against Texas A&M a few weeks ago. They're averaging 131 above their opponent's average. And in SEC play, despite their record, they haven't won a game in the SEC. They are plus 18 yards per game. That tells me they're a lot better than their record. How about this? LSU in conference play, minus 85 yards per game. When's the last time we saw that? It's been a long, long time. So I think you get, as long as we're getting more than 3 points, I'll take Arkansas here. It's always tough to go against LSU in Death Valley, but as you mentioned, I don't expect a rabid crowd for this one.
Not at 11:45 in the morning. There will be swaths of empties on Saturday morning. Should be a beautiful day, though. About 75 degrees, sunny. It'll be gorgeous just to watch two bad football teams play a game that doesn't matter. But Phil Steele will be watching because he watches every game, and that's why he's the best. Make sure you check out the Phil Steele Plus Tour. Phil, let's remind them what they get there at philsteele.com with the Phil Steele Plus Tour.
Yeah, and the Phil Steele Plus Tour, another big winning week last week. The selections went 4-1. So they're now 18-8-1 over the last 5 weeks. The quick hitters went 3-2. They're 28-12 the last 7 weeks. And the FCS plays just a 3-2 week, but 57-31 over the last 2 years. So just another big winning week. You get 4 free selections, 5 quick hitters, absolutely free. Go to philsteele.com. Right on the front menu, click on the Phil Steele Plus Tour. It's on YouTube. Take it and get yourself some free winners this weekend.
Phil, we appreciate you as always. We'll do it again next week. Thank you.
Sounds great, Matt. You have a great weekend, my friend.
You do the same. Phil Steele with us here every Football Friday, previewing the biggest games. We're at Don Juan Cigar Bar and brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Tell you about it every single day. It's their patented non-toxic dry fog. I've gotten asked, will Parish fog your car? Yes. Let's say you bought a used car, maybe a car that was owned by a smoker or someone who let pets in the car all the time, so you have some odor in it. No worries. I mean, they'll even come to you. Park your car at work. They'll pull up. I mean, they have the Sprinter vans with the hoses. They'll come spray in your car, close up the doors, roll up the windows, let that fog dwell, knock out all that odor. Same thing for your home, your commercial building. Any odor, any harmful pathogens, our friends over at Parish Restoration can help knock all that out. It's a more cost-effective, more effective, more efficient treatment system. It's Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. Okay, y'all. When I got a quick break, come back from Don Juan Cigar Bar, Chris's Specialty Foods. Our tailgate segment is up next. Terrio coming up right after the top of the hour. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking of selling your home, first, you got to know how much your home is worth, right? Because if you're going to sell your home, you got to know how much to list it for. Well, Darren James is going to help you with that. But you also need to have an idea of what your home is worth. Well, Darren James can help you there as well. Log on to his website. Do it right now. Grab your phone. If you're sitting at your desk, go to desktop. It doesn't matter, mobile or desktop. Go to agent225.com, agent225.com. If you're house hunting or just curious about real estate, you're going to want to bookmark the website as well. It's the most user-friendly website in real estate. But go to agent225.com. Do it right now. Type in agent225.com. See the home value tab right there? On mobile, just scroll. You'll see it. If you're on desktop, it's right there bottom right. The home value tab, just type in your address. Type in your address, hit enter. It'll use local market data to give you an accurate representation of what your home is worth today. Most user-friendly website in real estate and the #1 realtor in Louisiana. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 1, we are back here live from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Y'all come hang out with us here. Always a great spot. Filling up on a Friday. Have a cocktail, a fine premium cigar. TVs everywhere. Got sports on. Come hang out with us. Great spot anytime during the weekend. Coben's going to be here in just a second for the tailgate segment. Really quickly, if you missed this, former LSU defensive lineman Sadir Mitchell was doing a TikTok live on his own TikTok and talked a little bit about his departure from LSU and a possible reunion. Give a listen.
I'm real, bro. I ain't leave the team, bro. People come to disagreements, but it wasn't no hard feelings. Yeah, it was his decision. It was nobody else's decision. It was all BK's. He felt like The decision wasn't fair for the team, even though it had nothing to do with the team. But yeah, that's how you felt. I'm finna get in that portal. I just gotta finish school. I've been staying low-key finishing school, bro. Would you come out if the coaches ask you to stay? Hell yeah, come back. Hell yeah. Be on this boot.
Love that, man. So Sydir Mitchell, just as a reminder, so Sydir Mitchell, remember, was big 300. I think they listed him at like 360. That might have been generous on that dude, too. I mean, that's a massive human. And he was a Bo Davis recruit, right? Went to Texas under Bo Davis. Bo leaves Texas, comes to LSU. Sydir Mitchell hits the portal, joins Bo Davis. But before he ever plays for Bo, in spring, before spring, Bo leaves for the New Orleans Saints job. They hire Kyle Williams. And clearly they just wanted different styles of defensive linemen, right? Sydir Mitchell, big space-eating, 360-pound dude. I mean, just look at who Kyle Williams brought in via the portal. Bernard Gooden, smaller, 285, cat quick, get up the field like Kyle Williams was. They wanted just stylistically very different. But during the season, Sydir Mitchell wasn't playing and then left. This was Brian Kelly on the teleconference the week that Sydir Mitchell left the program.
There are standards, right? I mean, I can confirm that he is no longer on the roster, but we have standards that need to be met, and those standards weren't met. Like any business or organization, you have workplace standards, and so those standards weren't met, and really that's all I'm going to talk about relative to Sydir because he's no longer with us.
Okay, so BK didn't say anything more if it was grades, behavior, whatever, but you heard Sydir Mitchell say there on the TikTok Live that he's still in school. And that's an important note because he's still enrolled in school. He'd still join the football team. He said he'd come back to the team if the new coach welcomed him. So, I mean, Frank Wilson obviously hasn't brought him back this year, naturally, but whoever the new coach is, it sounds like they would be open to that. Something interesting, because keep in mind, you look at defensive tackle, you're losing Jacoby and Guillory, you're losing Bernard Gooden, you're going to return Ahmad Bro, you're going to return Dom McKinley, and then a lot of the younger guys behind them at tackle coming up. But a lot of those guys, again, were Bo Davis recruits. So Zion Williams, Buddy Mathis, are those guys sticking around? I don't know. We'll see. You just know there's going to be attrition. I mean, there's a coaching change. It is just going to happen. It happens everywhere. There's going to be attrition after a coaching change. There's going to be guys in the portal for every program, everywhere, no matter what. But obviously, this is going to naturally happen with a new coach coming in. But so something to watch there, as Sydir Mitchell says he's open to rejoining the LSU football team if the new coach will have him back. So we'll follow it and we'll see. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters too. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Maybe you live in a neighborhood that your HOA requires wood windows. Look, there's some of those places, man, and you live in Louisiana where it's hot, it's humid, it's wet. Those wood windows, they rot. You're replacing them every 3, 4, 5 years. Don't do that. Once, done forever with Relief Windows. They're Geldwin wood windows. They're from composite, so they will last forever. Lifetime transferable warranty. Labor, material, and glass breakage. It's Relief Windows. I tell you it every single day. Brandon Holly says it all the time. They'll never take $1 from you until they're finished and you're thrilled. What other company will not take a down payment? They take all of the financial risk up front, and you don't pay them until they're done and you're thrilled. It's Relief Windows. Oh, you can find someone who'll do it cheaper. But remember what your mama told you. You get what you pay for. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, tailgate segment time. Hit him, Use.
At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
COVID Linedecker joins us here on site at Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm a steak. How are you, bro?
Good
to see you, bro.
Glad to be back, brother.
I'm a steak guy. All right, I'm a steak snob. Self-described steak snob. Everywhere I travel, Alondra can confirm. We were in Nashville a few weeks ago for LSU Vanderbilt. Popped into a steakhouse. Steak snob. I will go find. I love steak. But dog, when you put a pork platter in front of me like this, I go, my goodness gracious. All right. LSU's playing Arkansas. Easy eat the competition week because we're eating a bunch of pigs. So,
yes.
All right, let's go through what you brought and all the things y'all have over at Chris's to help people on their tailgate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we're playing the Hogs. So we did a all pork party tray here.
Yeah.
Let's start off with one of the most popular things. That is a shrimp stuffed pork chop. It is a 8-ounce center cut pork chop that we stuff with a shrimp stuffing. It's unbelievable.
So are those sold single served, or are there multiple that
it comes with 2 to a pack?
2 to a pack.
Yep.
Okay, so like if you want to feed the whole family, you could buy a pack, several packs of those, whatever.
Yep.
I was asking, this is not the dry aged pork chop that you all have,
no.
though, right?
So we also do have a dry aged pork chop.
No, that's the one, bro. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's the one.
I explain to people, it is just like eating. It eats like a steak. It eats more like a steak than a pork chop. It's unbelievable.
Tressie put me on one of those maybe over the summer, and I grilled it just like I would a steak.
Yes. Yep.
And it was. I mean, I would have never thought I'd have that experience with a pork chop. It's incredible. So, but that is you said that's 8 ounces. That's a big old. I almost did. I think I can say that. Yeah, I can say that. But that's a big old pork chop.
Yep. And then.
By the way, that's 8 ounces of the pork chop meat, right? Not with the stuffing in it.
Not with the stuffing.
Got it. Okay.
And then we'll move over here. That is a pork loin. That is stuffed with an onion, pepper, and garlic.
Bro, y'all love to stuff some stuff over there, man. I mean, Chris is just like, I don't matter what it is. We're shoving something. We're shoving something in that thing.
Yep.
Golly.
So
what is it?
That's a smoked pork loin.
No, I'm sorry. What's the stuffing?
Onions, peppers, and garlic.
Okay.
Yep. And then right here we have our.
Wait, go back to the loin. How'd you cook that? How long you did?
I smoked that. I did that 2 hours at 225, just low and slow on the smoker.
Okay, 2 hours.
Yep. And then we'll hop over here. Of course, we have a bunch of stuffed pork tenderloins, but this is our pork medallion tenderloin that we cut up and we wrap in bacon, and we do 4 to a pack. So it's little bitty medallions. They cook much faster.
Oh, yeah.
The kids love them.
Beautiful. That looks like that's easy for something. I mean, you could do a whole bunch of that. Could be a good appetizer, no doubt.
Yep, small meal.
Man, you do that as an app. You slice them up, put them on tray, toothpicks in them. Beautiful, yeah.
Yep. And then we have our pork crackling that we serve at all locations, and then, of course, our famous boudin.
Is the crackling, does that come like in a bag?
Yeah, so you can, we sell it by the weight, so quarter pound, half pound, pound. Yeah, so you just walk in and get a bag of it.
And then that's pork boudin?
Yep, that's our boudin.
What's in it?
That's it's Boston butt and rice, and then we cook it like a rice and gravy.
You could just say pork. It's pork. It's pork. All right, so what about Couchon delays? Y'all do any of that stuff over there?
Yeah, absolutely. We order whole hogs. You can get.
Probably should have talked about that last Friday. So people could have ordered for this week. But do you have any now, or do they have to be ordered?
No, they have to be ordered.
Okay, so don't go into Chris's today thinking you're getting a pig for a Couchon delay tomorrow. That's past. That's my bad. We should have talked about that last week to warn people.
Yep.
So great items, and so people are going to be going at the tailgate. It's an early game, so maybe if you're going to be at your tailgate spot cooking after, you can do that. I mean, I don't know, for morning stuff at 11:45 kickoff, it's a little challenging, but if you're 11:45 game, you start in the morning. If you're at home, you get some of this stuff. Maybe throw the pork loin on the smoker for a couple hours and have it ready for lunch around kickoff time. You can do that.
Absolutely.
Let's remind people as well. For Thanksgiving, we're a couple of weeks away. 2 weeks from yesterday's Thanksgiving, and y'all are helping people with Thanksgiving meals?
Yep, we've been getting in a ton of orders already. We have your smoked fried birds. We have turduckens, turkey breasts, all the sides, all the gravies. We have everything. You can call any 4 locations, and we have that available ready. And, of course, all the hunters out there, it is deer season. They hammered them last weekend with the cold front. So we have a lot in. We're accepting at all locations again, so you can bring in a ice chest with your deer, and we will gladly process it for you.
Awesome local business, 4 locations, Highland Road near the interstate, across from Rufino's, Central, Millerville, and then Lakeview for all our New Orleans folks as well. Go online, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. When do they have to, if people want Thanksgiving orders, when do they have to be in by?
A week before Thanksgiving, so that's Thursday. Yep.
All right, so you got 6 days if you want help, and you can do the birds and all that stuff. But if people just want the sides and stuff,
yeah, of course. If you aren't doing, some people don't do turkey for Thanksgiving. We have all your sides, gravies, etouffees, gumbos. We have everything we can provide for your family.
Cool. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. Get your orders in now. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. And again, for deer processing as well, you shoot the buck, bring it to Chris's. They'll process the whole thing for you. All right, Tigers and Hogs. All right, Mr. Defensive Coordinator here of the Dunham School. By the way, this you didn't know he moonlights as a DC. How in the world are they going to stop Taylor Green tomorrow from running the football all over him?
I know. Perk's got to have a big game. Every time we played good versus, you can think back to Clemson, how he played. Seven was everywhere on the field that night. I think for us to have a big game and to stop that offense, Seven's got to be the guy. He's got to have a big game. I think again, Frank being there is going to bring new life. I've heard around the energy's up. Everybody's happy to be there. It's not a complete dumpster fire. So I think LSU will go out there and handle Arkansas. I'm going to go 28-21.
I mean, fans are down, no doubt.
Yes.
Fans have moved on to the coach. But I keep explaining, like, internally, Frank's done a great job of getting buy-in. And those guys, they're living a different reality than we are. Like,
100%.
Internally, they're bought in, and they'll give a great effort. I just don't know if they can stop a running quarterback. Right? You think Arkansas is only going to score 21 points?
Yep.
No, they averaged 35 a game. The lowest they scored all year is 24.
21.
All right. I'll give my pick at the end of the show. It ain't gonna be 28-21, I'll tell you that.
I believe in Hercules. I think he's going to have a huge game.
About time. Let's go. I'm here for it. Thank you, bro. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Coben Linedecker, Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Get your Thanksgiving orders in. Remember, you got to get them in by Thursday, a week before Thanksgiving. Go to the website, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. All right, we put a button here on hour number 1. We're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Terrio's coming up next. Y'all come hang out with us here at Don Juan today. Make this part of your weekend. We're glad to have you hanging out. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020? Call 924-2020. Remember, as we approach the end of the year, if you have HSA or FSA funds, don't let those expire at the end of the year. Call the Williamson Eye Center. Schedule your procedure with Dr. Blake Williamson. You can use those funds toward your LASIK, PRK, EVO ICL, the custom lens replacement. If you don't know any of what I'm talking about, what those words mean, just understand this. If you wear contacts or glasses or your sight's fading a little bit and you want to be able to see without contacts or glasses, Dr. Blake Williamson has a refractive procedure for you. And if you're worried about it, don't worry, I was too. That was my big hang-up. I was scared of lasers, whatever. Safest elective procedure in the history of mankind. It's the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEye.com.